for tonight's TV chat, we are going to be talking about Married at First Sight. Surprise, surprise. Although, like, bittersweet, it was reunion part 2, so this is basically the end. But it was very... Of Atlanta, yeah. Very, very eventful. We started off with Chris running off.
Finishing up Chris's...
Yeah,
rant.
he didn't want to. He didn't want to have an altercation with Pastor Dwight.
Oh no, he wanted to have an altercation.
He did. So, what were your thoughts about Chris's exit? And then he pretty much just did not show up for the rest of the episode, which I was happy with.
Well, they sent him on his way. You know, Kevin said bye.
Yeah.
What I thought was funny. Kevin was like, "All right, well, you know, we'll continue with Paige. Good seeing you, Chris."
He called their relationship, to the experts, a cup of crazy.
Right. It was a mess.
It was.
It was a hot mess. He ended it on a hot mess.
Yeah.
Like,
he showed his true colors again, right?
It was so much.
He tried to be this poised person. He is, I think, a psychopath.
Yes. Like, he puts on this front of what he thinks you want to get from him.
Yeah. But it doesn't take much, and that's why I don't think he's a good psychopath. Because it doesn't take much to push his buttons and for him to revert to who he truly is. Oh, no. And it annoyed me because Paige, even after all the shit that she knows now that was said on TV, she still chased after him.
Right.
Like, got in the car with him.
Right.
Why?
I don't know.
Right?
It doesn't make any sense to me because I think it sounds like she knows, you know, the whole relationship is wrong. Mm-hmm. She's still trying to work out what she probably saw in the reunion, right?
Yeah.
But
you forget, like, this is the reunion. She's seen it air.
She hasn't seen all of it. That's why they showed the ugly part. Remember, Kevin was very specific to say, you haven't seen this yet.
Okay.
You know, because this is pre-recorded.
Yeah.
This is what was shown.
So I mean,
and she did not.
I wouldn't have needed time to process the fact that somebody said my face was.
I wouldn't either.
The thing that bothered you about me. It wouldn't take much for me. And so for her to still kind of like have his back and, you know, she was like, well, I wasn't privy to certain things. And I'm like, even if you didn't hear the face comment, day one, like the full day, the next day after your wedding, he said he was not physically attracted to you. Like,
right.
I don't know what more privy you need to be. Like, and he had a kid, and I'm not even, like, I wouldn't even knock Chris for, like, having a kid on the side. Like, it's fucked up, but if you liked me enough, like, I would have considered working it out with you.
You would have.
I mean, because it's like, because you weren't technically with me, you weren't going through the process, you shouldn't have been doing something that dumb and reckless. But if you're committed to the process, like, yeah, I would have considered it.
You thought that that's committed to the process? To have unprotected sex with someone that you were engaged to while you're in the process, you think is committed to the process.
You haven't met the person, so it's maybe not real. It's not real.
I wouldn't have been okay with him.
Yeah.
Because, again, a lot of people, at least protect yourself. Like, you know that you're going to be married to me, and we might have sex.
Well, no one's saying that they had, like, they probably had an STD test.
Do you know how STDs work?
They take some time, huh?
Yes. Like, who knows when the last time? Anyway,
You would not have been Paige. I might have been baby Paige. I would have given him... I mean, after the honeymoon, there would have been nothing. Like, once he decided to go to Chicago and not come back to Atlanta, that would have been, like, my last sucker straw. Like, okay, I'm a sucker, but that's, like, the last straw.
Right.
And Paige just kept going. So, yeah, they were just, I mean, exhausting. Chris, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about
Paige's friend, though, when she showed up.
So Paige's friend didn't do a good job of defending herself, right? Like, here's the thing.
Because I feel like all season, she's online, she's had to defend the fact that as her friend, like, where are her friends? That's what everybody's saying. Where are her friends? Where are her family?
Yeah. So I don't think if you were Paige and you were getting married at first sight and I was your friend and that guy and Chris said that to me.
Sounds like you would have been Paige, not me.
But, okay. If either way, as the friend, I don't think I would have said anything on your wedding day or even the day after. Like, because who knows, like, things could change after he, like, meets you guys. Because literally, like, they talked to him. They literally just got married at first sight. So, like, let me give it a week or two, right? But if my friend is complaining about all this shitty stuff that this guy's doing, I'm going to add on to it and say, okay, so this is what he said at the wedding. I didn't want to ruin anything or, you know, give you bad, like, thoughts about him. But I think you probably should run.
Okay, words for verse. If you were Paige, I would have told you. I wouldn't have told you at the wedding.
Beginning? When would you
I would
have
not
told
have
me?
told you at the wedding. I would have told you when you talked to me when you got to Vegas.
But would
I would have probably texted you the next day.
Would I have had to complain about Chris?
No.
Or would you have told me,
no,
regardless of whether complaining or
I'll
not?
let you get through your wedding night.
Really?
And the next day I'd be like, girl, I gotta tell you what he said to us at the wedding. I'm not gonna not tell you that. My husband said that I wasn't a trophy wife and that I wasn't who he thought I was gonna be.
But things can change.
That's a conversation that they can have and deal with. But I'm not gonna hold on to. As your friend, I think I should tell you that.
I mean,
he did it on camera.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was hidden.
Yeah, but none of her friends.
So she was gonna, and again, this goes back to other things we've talked about. If you already know it's gonna come back to me, I'm more mad that you didn't tell me that then.
You're right.
Like, don't hold nothing off in a week.
Well, I mean, I know. I feel like I
probably would have been mad at you and him. I would have cussed you out and I would have cussed him out. Why would you say that to my friends, dummy? And what was my friends being dumb not tell me? You know me better than that.
This reminds me of a random topic where you're like, I want to know.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, what? But again, I wouldn't be Paige. So
yeah,
there's that.
Oh,
I'm being aggressive, but this is why I wouldn't be Paige.
You're very passionate about this.
He wouldn't let Chris wouldn't deal with me.
You would have, yeah. It wouldn't have been a show.
Yeah,
it would have been Michelle moved on.
Right. Yeah.
Anything more on that?
I'm done with them. I don't want to hear nothing else about Chris.
Over it. And I do not think Paige needs. He said Paige needs a redo. I'm like, no, she doesn't. But she did admit.
I think Paige needs a redo still.
She needs to prove to me.
But she was cheated out of her experience. I would say that based on what Married at First Sight is, despite how she reacted in it.
Yeah, she
got cheated along with Jake.
Well, I think she just needs to date in Atlanta. I don't think she deserves like anybody to help her find a man.
I mean, Atlanta is hard apparently, and harder than here apparently. So there's that.
Anyways,
yeah.
Okay, so I think
Jake and Haley would be next.
The next spicy couple is Jake and Haley. I'm so happy. So I was really pissed off. Like, I like Kevin Frazier, but he pissed me off because he was going in on Jake. Like, Jake was the enemy. Like, I mean, man, you just sound like a broken record. I mean, you could have done more to woo her. I'm just like, did we watch the same fucking series?
Right. Kevin came across like he was the ugly dude that had to deal with being ugly and had to fight his way with his wife.
Yeah.
Or whoever he with. And like, dude, come on board to the ugly team. Like,
right.
You know, we gotta work hard. It's
work really hard. I'm like,
that's not the case, sir.
It needs
Jake
to be
is not unattractive. She decided she wasn't attracted to him.
Yeah.
And she made it very clear.
Very clear.
Everything about what she was doing or not doing made it seem like she wasn't interested. So I don't blame Jake for anything. Could they have both done something differently to make it work? For sure. But no, I don't blame him at all. The way Kevin went in was ridiculous.
It was. And I was like, where is anyone, like, where's somebody to defend? Because Haley was like, I'm so, like, yeah, you understand where I'm coming from. And I'm just like,
right.
I feel like it takes a really strong person to be able to look past someone telling you, I'm not attracted to you. They verbally say it. And then to not, you can't have any physical, like, you can't even hug me. Like, we get exercises where you're like,
they couldn't hold hands.
Let's hold hands. I'm like, girl.
She hesitated to hold hands?
Yeah, and then it was like, reenact your first kiss. I'm like, I'm sure your first kiss was a pact.
She's like, we can't really do that with,
she was like, we're already holding hands. She was like, we're already holding hands. Like, that's enough. So
the first kiss was on the wedding. That was awkward too.
Yeah. So I mean, I felt for Jake, and I'm glad when the experts came. I think Pastor Cal was a little quiet, but definitely like Dr. Viviana and Dr. Pepper came for like Jake's defense and said like he tried. Like Haley was very cold. Like Dr. Pepper, I think used the word cold.
They used the word rejected too. He was rejected by her. Yes, she said Haley was cold and he was rejected. Like, on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like, and what you can't say is that you are okay with hugging strangers, but not your husband when you're hugging every other cast member that's there.
Yeah.
Every time you see them.
She was like, but I don't have to see them. That's what her defense was. I thought it was bullshit. I thought that Jake was justified. Could he have been a little bit more romantic? But it's like, how many times does one person have to like go above and beyond and the other person isn't reciprocating?
It's hard to give when you're not getting anything.
Nothing.
It's easier to give effort when something is positive about the situation. And I don't think he had a positive to even motivate him.
I'm trying to think back of like what were positives.
Right. I think that was the problem. She wasn't understanding that they both need to give. And I think I mentioned this I don't know if it was last show or not.
Yeah.
But, I don't again feel like the cast members utilize the experts as much as they should have. I have seen way many more seasons than them actually call the experts when they had an argument, when they were not agreeing on something. And they should have called the experts in way many times. Many times.
They definitely needed it.
And they didn't.
Yeah, they definitely needed it.
So, I don't know.
I mean, so I would like to say, I thought Jake kind of looked a little fly. Like, he had red, like, I think like Adidas sneakers.
I like the whole
He had a whole, like, holes in his jeans.
That was effort.
Yeah. I mean, I
wonder if he was dressed, though.
You think he was? I don't know.
I don't think he did. You think he did that on his own?
I mean,
Jake wouldn't have bought no
holy jeans with his, and they were fitted too. And he had sneakers, which that was a problem. She was like, "Why are we going to a batting cage and you have?"
He said he doesn't like sneakers.
Yeah.
So true. Yes, he got styled.
Sometimes you have to do that,
right? But he's open.
He is open. Here's the thing, and we talked about this last week. I said I dated someone that was not open to change, but it bothered me too. The things that Haley said bothered her about his attire. Completely understand, girl. I get it. But if a guy is open to it, I will give you a whole new wardrobe and you will look like the Gap ad I want you to look like.
Not Gap ad.
Oh, I love like a nice preppy look.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
The kneecap comment took me out though.
That was
like,
what's your favorite feature about your partner?
Jake know he was wrong for that.
I think he was trying to be funny.
If I'm gonna say he did something wrong, that's where he fucked up. Like, Jake.
But do you think if he said you have beautiful eyes, do you think that would have changed the situation?
I don't think it would have changed everything, but it would have at least been one thing. Like,
I also think that sometimes he says things to get a reaction.
He for sure does.
If he said my kneecap,
that's his personality.
If he would have said that to you or me, we'd have been like, kneecap, really?
I would have laughed. I would have died laughing.
Exactly. But she doesn't like him, so it's like annoyance, not laughter.
Yeah. And he knew that.
I know. So he should have just said something nice.
He's like,
don't joke with her.
Yeah.
She doesn't need a joke.
He knew that. So that's why I was like, Jake, you know you was wrong for that.
Yeah. Your kneecaps. But he goes, I mean, good kneecaps are good because when you get
old,
he's
not gonna run, and he gonna run with it.
No, but that's true though. I see old people with their bad kneecaps. It gets saggy. You do want some solid kneecaps. She's also 29.
You would jump on it?
Because I've seen like, and they get
old ass knees.
I can see they have like thin legs, but they got these saggy knees. It's a thing. So I'm with him. I feel like he's been at the gym and like seen old ladies and been like, she does not have good kneecaps. I love Jake. I'm sorry. I'm Team Jake. I don't like Haley. I don't want Haley to find love until 39 anyways. Or 38. I'm sorry. 38. She needs to be alone until 38. Yeah. And she probably will be.
Yeah.
And Jake hopefully will find love in the next year.
Yeah. Well, everybody else seemed okay. It was no big thing with anybody else. Except for I did forget, and I did want to mention it. Virginia defending herself when they did the playback of her talking about staying at her best friend's house and
full of shit.
She was like, I didn't say I would do that after I was married.
Bitch, yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
You had a whole argument about it. You said, if I need to stay there, I will.
I was like, that's not true.
Yeah.
Like, there's a playback of that.
Right. I love the guys getting together, and Kevin was like, so are y'all as close as the women? And Ryan was like, I mean, we have a strong like group text. How can we like see each other?
Right.
The ladies like to see each other. And then, so I thought that was cute. And then I love the flashback of Ryan. That's my jam.
Oh
That's my jam.
I'm so mad that they didn't say sure.
Right. Sure should have been there.
I just knew.
Sure should have been there. Yeah. But that's my jam. I didn't even catch that he said that's my jam a lot.
I didn't either.
Yeah, but sure. Yeah,
sure came up way more. So I was just like,
sure.
I knew they were going to do that, but.
Sure. Instead of yeah, he said sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's a project manager. He probably says that at work a lot. Sure.
Oh, for sure.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. Anything else?
No, I'm just glad that it's done.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
It was like 4.5 months of our life.
Yeah, we were committed long enough.
Yeah.
And I still think the same thing that I thought. Brianna and Vince will make it.
Mm-hmm.
Clara and Ryan will make it.
You don't think
Eric, Virginia, I feel like they're not going to make it past a year. But,
they're on couples cam, so maybe
that means nothing.
They might be like Beth and Jamie. Do we think Beth and Jamie would make it?
No.
Yeah.
True.
And they're going strong.
They're defying the odds.
Yes, because both of them are like, she's fucking crazy, and I think Jamie loves her crazy.
He does.
And I think for
Jamie actually needed someone crazy because he was very uptight.
Yeah. And I think that Virginia is like uber fun and young and vibrant, and I think Eric is not that, and he needs that. Yeah. And I think that's probably what attracts Eric to Virginia is her like vibrance and like love for life, and I'm fun, and so I think that'll like the shit that she listen, I want to like sleep at my guy friends' houses, or I want to get drunk every weekend. Like I think he'll look past that.
That's true.
So as long as she kind of stays in line, I think they'll last
long enough, I guess.
We'll see. I give them more than a year.
Anyways, all right.
Let us know what you guys thought.
Great series.
It'll be back July 28th, and we're going to Houston.
Oh, it's starting that soon?
July 28th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Houston. Woo woo.
I like it. All right.
Yeah, Texas.
Okay.
So,
all right.
We'll be here for it.
All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.